In the new Grey Knights Codex, we are told what the actual Terminus decree is. It's been revealed. Opinion seems to vary on the reveal, so I thought we'd go over the new law, discuss how it might send the Grey Knights into conflict with the Imperium, the custodes, the Inquisition and others, why it might have been issued, and go over the law we thought was the Terminus decree from the Siege of Terra series. So welcome friends to another 40k video, and let's begin. In the Codex it states, the Terminus decree is held in a simple wooden box. Only the Supreme Grand Master can open it. Inside is the Emperor's final command to the Grey Knights. The Master of Mankind can never be allowed to leave the Golden Throne in any guise, either return to life, reborn in another body, or as some kind of warp entity. And if he does, then he must be taken back to the throne, and his terrible duty. The Grey Knights themselves were created with this in mind. The decree does not say how this would be accomplished. The Knights themselves must decide and play that role. So that's pretty massive and covers a number of different theories, people and organisations within the 40k verse. Many concerns over how to bring back the Emperor if it should be done. My reaction to the answer is this. I think it does have some interesting lore implications. It will put the Grey Knights in opposition to a lot of people within the Imperium, probably more than are outside the Imperium, but I prefer the Basilio Foe law overall. So let's discuss this new law in detail, and please also let me know your opinion. First, the custodes. I think even with the resources of the Grey Knights, they would struggle to go against the Emperor's guardians. They run the blood games to stop people reaching him, and the Sisters of Silence are back in play as well, so that would counter the Grey Knights' psychic abilities. We know there are things that block direct teleportation around the Imperial Palace, so I don't think they could get in that way. Unless they get some sort of tech we've never heard of to get close, then I don't think they could accomplish it. And even if they did, the custodes would be strong opposition to them, as they're often shown to be very superior in combat to the Astartes, at least in the good versions anyway. So in terms of him coming back, we are told this can't happen in any scenario. If he be returned to life, reborn in another body, or as some kind of warp entity. Each plays into a belief. Firstly, him returning could shatter the Grey Knights' close alliance with the Inquisitors, who have many faiths within their overall belief system. In brief, the ones best known to me are the Tholians, founded by Sebastian Thor, a hero from the past. They believe Thor carried within him a spark of the Emperor, and so they believe he can be reincarnated into a new body. That's the Emperor, not Sebastian Thor. And they watch for potential candidates such as living saints, and yes, I will get into the Star Child, be patient friend. Their next ones are radicals, the Herusians. They think the power given to Horus by the Chaos Gods can be used to make a new body for the Emperor. And from the radical area, the radical part of Thorianism, revivificationism, one that's fun to say, they want to study death, to reverse the process and bring him back. Now to tackle the in a new body idea, the Star Child theory applies here. The law for this has recently come back, and that was in the Dawn of Fire series, though it wasn't concluded there. I hopefully think they'll pick it up in the future. But it also goes way back to the original Rogue Trader. That's where the Star Child is first mentioned. It's believed that there is a weak link between the Emperor's soul and his body, and that he can be brought back in a new body. This will be the birth of the Star Child, and into the Star Child's body the Emperor's soul will be placed. That ties into another concept of the Sensei. It says that the Emperor had real sons during his life on Terra and after, possibly, and that they are immortal and can be blessed with power from the Star Child. It seems like an early version of the idea of saints to me. And finally, the idea of the Emperor as a warp entity. This ties into the recently concluded Siege of Terra series and the prophecy of the Dark King. Perhaps this is why the Emperor issued the decree in the way he did. He saw he would be needed on the throne and didn't want to be tempted to take up the power of the Dark King. He says in The Master of Mankind by Aaron Dembski Bowden that the birth of Slaanesh within the warp, that energy, devastated the Eldari Empire. And so maybe if the Emperor accepted this power, he would have become as equally a fearsome entity, a fifth chaos god. He rejected it then, when he was about to fight Horus and would have needed the power. Could he reject this after 10,000 years on the throne, with his emotions cast into the warp? I'm less sure on that one. Regarding the Emperor's emotions, the good, let's say, of him, that was cast into the war so he could face Horus. That part still exists, and its relevance in terms of the Terminus decree is that decree might not stop that part of the Emperor continuing to gather power. Assuming prayers and blessings and perhaps living saints, power goes to him. That's just an assumption, an idea. One idea I like is that the Terminus decree is some sneaky thing placed within the care of the Grey Knights by Chaos, perhaps Siege, to prevent them doing things as this would save the Imperium. And as I said earlier, this new bit of law clashes with law we received during the End and the Death Part 1, which we believe to be the decree. And so for contrast, let's go over it here. It starts with Basilio Foe, a mad scientist from the age of technology of barbarians, and he was on Earth during the siege. He makes a weapon that we thought became the Terminus decree, later the Sanction, a targeted weapon to remove all the Astartes, perhaps even the Primarchs themselves, i.e. a way to wipe the slate clean, if they ever became a danger to his Imperium, and one of many extreme sanctions that can be deployed in the time of greatest need. In more detail, Hassan, who serves the Sigillite, tells others that Foe and his weapon should be held in service and says it is signified tier 20 and deemed a Terminus sanction. It must be made safe and its architects too. And just on that, perhaps there are a number of Terminus style sanctions that can be deployed. Valdo's orders are for Foe and the device to be locked in the dark cells. Hassan says the order of transfer are pending. It's the Malcador sits on the throne, so Hassan cannot get confirmation. It comes down to authentication hierarchy. Hassan states that suitable order for a tier 20 directive are the throne, the Lord Praetorian, or the Sigillite. No other sources are appropriate. This gifted geneticist, this viral weapon, can target and destroy the Astartes gene templates. It would hit both loyal and traitor alike. If activated, Foe even brags that it can target Primarchs. Those chosen by Malcador can deploy this, and at the time we thought it could have been deployed and trusted to the Grey Knights. This would also destroy the gene craft to create new Marines. They would not be able to make any more. I think we can assume there will be some way to distribute and target this weapon across a span of distance as large as the 40k galaxy, though at the time, of course, a lot of them were gathered on Terra. To reach all those Marines, could it reach into the warp as well, perhaps? Or through the warp to reach them? Though I given a little detail to support this, perhaps some of the devices coming out of the dark cells can do this. So that's the video. It was a last minute one for me when I heard about the law, and it sparked my imagination for this video. The scheduled video on demonic cages made by the old ones to contain chaos will come out next Wednesday. It seems strange to provide answers on this when we already had one, and it's better, I think, but I guess there are many types of doomsday weapons that the Imperium could employ if it came to that. And speculation is often more fun than answers. Anyway, if you like this video on 40k, then why not try this one? And if you like 40k a lot, I have two playlists on the channel. One has everything, warning for the quality of the audio, because I started the playlist when I was recording on my phone and now I have a decent microphone, so warning on that. And also there's a playlist for my videos on the dark age of technology, which is one I very much enjoy covering, as you'll see with the videos coming up over the next few weeks.